If you could design a chemical to damage or destroy the foundations of health, it would be glyphosate. And the bigger Roundup has a lot of poisons in it. The chief poison is glyphosate. I will tell you some of the qualities of Roundup and glyphosate. And this is going to be, what I'm about to say is highly encouraging for you to do something, to eat organic. If you avoid GMOs, you will eliminate one big source of Roundup. But starting in 2006, Monsanto had the brilliant idea of expanding its markets by convincing farmers to spray Roundup just before harvest on the grains and the beans. So it's higher on oats than it is on soybeans. It's higher in hummus because it's sprayed on chickpeas and lentils and peas, beans, wheat. So you can have a non-GMO project verified loaf of bread that's been sprayed with Roundup 3 days before harvest. So now I'm going to tell you what Roundup does. And so I told you behavior change messaging. It isn't pretty, but it works. Roundup was originally patented as a descaler to clean the mineral buildup in pipes and boilers in factories. Because it was a chelator. It grabbed all the minerals and stripped it. Now, what does it do to us? It binds with minerals, making them unavailable. Any biochemists in the room? Minerals are cofactors for all of these different biochemical pathways. So if you have a bunch of material ready to function, to produce enzymes, to detox the body, but you don't have a certain mineral, they're all on strike. If the mineral is there, but it's bound with glyphosate, still on strike. So many diseases are mineral deficient diseases. That whole long list, we could go back to people who are experts at mineral deficiency, and they could probably link the list of diseases and charts, many of them, to mineral deficiency, which could be related to glyphosate. Glyphosate was also patented as an antibiotic. But unlike all the other antibiotics that we know, it preferentially kills the beneficial bacteria. The lactobacillus, the bifidus, not the salmonella, botulism, E. coli. So when you look at a model of human microbiome and you feed it food for 3 weeks and then you put Roundup in, it destroys the biodiversity, cuts down the short-chain fatty acids, changes what it produces, increases the pathogens. And I talked to an expert at the microbiome, and I said, okay, let's go through those 28 conditions that people said they got better from. I'll name a condition, and you tell me if the changes in the microbiome could have predicted it. Every single one. So that's the first two things, minerals and antibiotics. It also, I know it's really serious. It also is a toxin to the mitochondria. And for those who are involved in the body, it damages the actin, which is the structural components of the cells, and the mitochondria collapse. Mitochondria is the energy centers. Remember the fatigue and the brain fog? But mitochondria basically run the body. When you want to tell whether someone is old or young, you look at the two tissues. The only difference they could find is the damaged or the undamaged mitochondria. There's a mitochondria theory of aging. There's a mitochondria theory of cancer. And mitochondria is damaged from glyphosate and Roundup. It also, Monsanto advertised that it blocks the shikimate pathway, which is what plants use, and we don't have a shikimate pathway. And that's all it does, folks. It just blocks the shikimate pathway so we can eat it. You can drink it. It's safer than table salt. This is what they said. The shikimate pathway is used by our gut bacteria to produce the precursors to serotonin, melatonin, dopamine. Remember anxiety, depression, sleep disorders, insomnia, suicide, attention deficit? All those can be related to these neurotransmitters. Glyphosate can mess up hormones and change the balance of testosterone and estrogen. It can cause suppression of digestive enzymes. It can block the intelligent networking between cells. So cells can't talk to each other as much. It's called gap junctions, drops by 50%. It's a cause of cancer. It causes genotoxicity, meaning it causes mutations in our DNA, which can also lead to cancer. It can cause birth defects. And I'm only getting started. So you see, it basically hits all of these fundamental foundations of health, and it's throughout our food supply.